Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Matthew and today we've got some all new news to share with you guys, and this is big news. We got this I think during the last week or so I'm a tad bit late on this, but I wanted to wait till there's more information about this, and we got more information so I can talk about it. We got some all new news regarding the MonsterVerse. We are getting a new MonsterVerse movie titled Son of Kong. This is huge. Why? Because we were debating the whole time, what's the future of the MonsterVerse gonna look like? Are they gonna make another movie? This is now confirmed. 10 months ago, you guys might remember, they announced this movie, quote unquote, announced. It was more of them in the talks about a new movie titled Son of Kong with Legendary and Adam Wingard to direct, and it looks like they got him. Right now, it's scheduled to be starting filming in about summertime of this year, and Adam Wingard's going to be directing it with Legendary producing it in Queensland, Australia. Now, I think that Australia is the perfect place to film this. There's tons of places you can go to, and it just has such immersive environments. You can do a whole lot with it. And Godzilla vs. Kong really set the stage for a ton of different environments, so this is the perfect place to do it. Now, let's go ahead and address the whole title, Son of Kong. That literally means that this is an all new sequel to the MonsterVerse with Kong and a son. So, what can we expect or guess from a plot line? Because they definitely do have a script written, otherwise they wouldn't start filming. They have a script written. I'm just saying. They wouldn't have announced the filming if they didn't have a script written. You need the script or screenplay before you start a film. I know this. So, what can we expect from this new MonsterVerse? Well, I have a few predictions. One, if this isn't actually a sequel, this might be a prequel to Kong Skull Island, and might bring us back in time to when Kong was an infant trying to take care of himself, and the Kong that we are getting introduced to is actually Kong's father. That's a very low possible guess because that story's already been told thanks to the graphic novels. So let's go ahead and say that's not the actual storyline. What could be the actual storyline is that maybe a few years later, after the events of Godzilla vs. Kong, because the MonsterVerse really loves to skip years. Trust me, it's there. 2014 took place in 2014, King of the Monsters took place in 2019, and Godzilla vs. Kong took place in 2024. So I'm going to guess that this movie takes place roughly 2025 or 2026, or if it also follows another 5-year jump, it's in 2029, which is very far into the future. Remember, I'm recording this in 2022. Jeez, I can't wait to see that year. In a sense, I believe that they are going to either have Kong have a son in two different ways. One, Kong's son is going to be having Kong's son himself is a body that is preserved in maybe some sort of ice glacier that's trapped, and either the humans find it or Kong finds it, busts him free, and somehow that recovers him, and he was just in a state of hibernation, so he wakes up, and this new adult Kong is now his parent. Or they take a DNA sample from a past Kong specimen, or this Kong specimen, and clones it into a new Kong. Remember, this is now possible. We've seen this with the skull crawlers. Those are genetically modified skull crawlers. Skull crawlers aren't known for growing that big. If you remember in Kong Skull Island, that skull crawler was only about this Kong's size, which was about 100 feet. I'd say 30 meters. It was only about that size. But the Godzilla vs. Kong Skullcrawler that we saw was about maybe around this big. Remember, Mechagodzilla literally held it into a T-pose, dislocating both its shoulders, and we saw how big that thing is. It's humongous. That's what she said. But, like, it's so big. The Skullcrawler is definitely genetically mutated here. And the fact that they referred to as number 10 means that it was a test subject towards, well, obviously it was a test subject towards Mechagodzilla, but it also had, like, the red coloring on his back. That's not natural for a Skullcrawler. We've seen them in the past Kong stuff, and the past MonsterVerse entries. That's not a normal color for a Skullcrawler. So that means that Skullcrawler was genetically modified. I don't know if it was like ever confirmed in the novelization, which it probably was, given how deep the novelization dives into the MonsterVerse lore and whatnot. But this means that they could genetically modify a new Kong specimen for Kong. Or maybe it was just some sort of test subject gone wrong, and then that guy escapes, and then he winds up finding Kong, and then the two eventually, become a family, and he raises him as his own. So, that's my theories. Or they find a female Kong. Let's say that, like, you reverse it now. Instead of the son being the one that they're genetically modifying or find encased, it's a female Kong that's an adult. So then, so they genetically modify that Kong, or they find the Kong, the female Kong. Kong arrives, and I don't think it requires a genius to think what happens next. They have a son, and that Kong, and our Kong lives happily ever after with his family. That's what I think might happen. One of two things. Do I think it's going to have a female Kong? I'd say there's about a 50-50% chance that there will be a 50-50% chance that there will be a female Kong. So, that's just my guesses. As for a release date, I'm willing to guess that there is a possible chance that this will be releasing sometime, obviously, next year. Because they've already started filming, and from what I could tell, the CG work does take a little bit of time for these movies. So a mid-2023 to a late 2023 release should be the most possible guess for this. And, it's exciting. Now, in terms of, like, potential guest stars, Adam Wingard has said that he wants to bring Titanus Doug back, which I'm all for more Doug. If you don't know who Doug is, it was that little quadruped lizard who ate the crab monster. I can't remember the crab monster's name. In Godzilla vs. Kong, we see him like for a split second, and that's it. He got the name Doug through the viewers, and he's become like a big joke within the whole MonsterVerse series. So now we have a chance at seeing Doug again. So what kind of other guest stars can we see? We can possibly see more Skullcrawlers, more Warbats, more more of those crab monsters, definitely. A kaiju that I want to see return is Gorosaurus. This is it. This is the chance for them to bring back Gorosaurus. If they don't bring back Gorosaurus, that's fine. But remember, despite him popularity coming from the Godzilla franchise, he originated from a King Kong film, King Kong Escapes. So just remember that. He's not necessarily originated as a Godzilla Titan. He's originally a King Kong Titan. So having a King Kong a King Kong a King Kong base Titan, there you go. Having a King Kong base Titan in a new King Kong movie is perfect. And not to mention, you've already got all the other Toho monsters in there, so bring on another one. Now, speaking of Godzilla, I know a lot of people are going to ask, oh, what about a new Godzilla movie? I'm going to go ahead and say this. As much as I would love to have a new Godzilla movie, Kong's got to have his fair share of the cake first, okay? It's already kind of imbalanced, because if we take a look at the 4 first movies, we have a Godzilla film, a Kong film, another Godzilla film, and then a Godzilla versus King Kong movie. That's, if we don't count GVK, since that's not exclusive to anybody, that's two Godzilla movies and one King Kong movie. So I feel like having another King Kong movie, in addition to Kong Skull Island, is will kind of even it out a little bit. So you have two King Kong movies, two Godzilla movies, and one crossover between the two, and that's perfectly fine, and you can expand it from there. So, um, honestly, if they are planning more MonsterVerse films outside of Son of Kong, what I would want to see is another Godzilla film, like a Godzilla 3, and then another Kong movie, and then either not just like another Godzilla versus Kong, but like a Destroy All Monsters movie, where you bring in more Titans, more monsters, more characters, and you just have this huge throwdown the same way you did with GVK. Like, GVK was the biggest movie of 2021, I think, right next to like Spider-Man No Way Home and everything else. But like, a Destroy All Monsters is gonna put like all of the other movies to shame. It's gonna be King of the Monsters cranked up to the max. We only saw four Titans in that movie fight each other. We saw the rest of the Titans like in little snippets. Just imagine if this movie was given a massive budget, a ton of VFX artists, and that's backing from like legendary Warner Brothers, Toho, everybody, and we could have this huge Godzilla, Kong, potentially other monsters too. Like if you can somehow wedge in Gamera, Ultraman. Who else can you add? Maybe the Beast of 20,000 Fathoms, the Giant Claw in there, because I know those are classic. You could bring in some other like famous Toho kaiju, and then at the end they have to team up against Destroya or someone. That would be amazing. But you know, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. It's going to take a little bit of time. I specifically remember back in 2014 watching Godzilla 2014, and then they announced its sequel, and now I'm like getting ready, so excited, keeping track of all the news that were released over the years, and then finally we get the movie, and it's like, I really waited all those years for this moment. And then the film really was worth the wait, and then Godzilla vs. Kong came in and was like really satisfying for me. But that being said, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Son of Kong is where it's at, and Son of Kong is where it's at now. This movie, I'm excited for it, and assuming Adam Wingard can really give us a really good movie, I'm all for it. The only thing I hope is that it exceeds 2 hours in length. My biggest problem with Godzilla vs. Kong was its short runtime. It was just shy of 2 hours, not counting the credits. Or counting the credits, I mean. And it felt a little too fast-paced, in my opinion. I would have liked to see a little bit more development. That's something I like with King of the Monsters, but Godzilla vs. Kong kind of skipped that in favor of more of a fast-paced action movie. Which, for a movie that's supposed to be like the last one of the Wave 1 MonsterVerse series, that didn't really feel like a good way, but you understand. I love the movie. So I hope that Adam Wingard does bring in a brand new extended runtime of a movie. Don't make it drag too much, but keep it at least a good length. 2 hours is good. But that being said, guys, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the return of King Kong and potentially some Godzilla cameos, which, do I think Godzilla's going to appear in it? He's going to make a mention, or at least a drawing of him. But he's definitely not going to be appearing in this movie. At least I don't think. If he is, then Legendary kind of just spent a crud ton of money on that sense. Because, like, they had, like, all that sort of... okay, how do I say this? Toho requires payment for their Titans. Because, like, if you want to pay for, like, a cameo, just for, like, a few seconds, you're going to have to pay Toho. Like, that's just how King of the Monsters works. That's why we didn't see any of the other Toho kaiju in there. If Toho didn't really charge that much, depending on the screen time, if it was, like, only a few seconds, we could have seen, like, more Titans in there, judging from the concept art. Because we saw, like, Gigan in there, Gamera, more Titans in there. I can't remember which ones exactly, but yeah, they were there. But that being said, I hope everyone is excited for this new MonsterVerse film. I'm gonna probably pay like immediate big tickets to see these things. I'm excited. So that being said, I hope everyone likes this video. If you did, definitely subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone.